Hey guys, Brian from Progressive Force Concepts here to talk to you guys about the PDC, or the Progressive Defensive Carbine. Very exciting new project. We've partnered with Praestolor Arms based out of Florida to essentially deliver an out-of-the-box defensive carbine. This project was born out of a couple of things. Number one, we've had a lot of students ask us and say, hey, how are the instructors' rifles configured and why? And secondly, we've had some folks who have neither the time nor the inclination or the money to go through the experimental process of trying this stock and this rail and that sort of thing. So we wanted to streamline the process. Basically, every single component on this is a component that we've done the testing on and found to be best in class at this particular time. Again, being progressive, every single component on this rifle can evolve and wind up changing if something better comes down the line. Let's kind of start at the front of the gun and work towards the back and give both the hows and the whys. First things first, we have a primary weapon system, FSC 556 muzzle brake / flash hider. It's a good blend between both flash hiding characteristics and dampening of recoil. We've seen some muzzle brakes that are out there. They do a real good job with recoil, but they're just a disaster when it comes to flash. Excellent, excellent item. Moving back, we've got the Zetas CQB mini weapon light, a one cell with a momentary on tail cap, and in this case, it's bearing the key mod mount and mounted on the rail. Super simple, super robust. If you know anything about Zeta or have seen any of our other videos, you'll know why we hands down recommend it. Also, the Lumen Output. We don't want to have something that's ridiculous. There's some that are out there that are 1,000 lumens. They're way too much. You use them indoors, you're going to blind the end user. Next, backup iron sights, or in this case, actually polymer sights. The Magpul backups, what we found on these guys is that number one, in drop testing, dropping them right on top of the sights on concrete, they hold zero better than any other backup sights. Next, weight, because they're polymer, they're exceptionally light. And third, cost, because they're made of polymer, they're going to be lesser in cost. So in this case, the savings gets passed on to the end user. Let's talk about the fore-end rail that we have. This is the Midwest Industries Key Mod Ultralight Rail. And number one, in circumference, it's incredibly thin. That makes it very, very easy for the shooter to facilitate a good grip around it. It also has had the rail removed from the 12 o'clock position on the majority of it. So it does mate up with the receiver. It does have a section at the forward end for your front sight, but other than that, it's only rail where you need it. It does also come with a couple sections of Picatinny if you want to bolt those on. On the bottom, from rail scales, the hand stop, or the scale stop as they call it, ideal for getting that pinky locked into an ideal shooting position for getting our thumb over the top of the bore. Exceptional on the fore end, super lightweight, and also on that rail, it's got a multitude of QD slots on it in case you were one of those guys who likes to use a 2-point sling with a QD stud on it. Moving back on the gun, receivers upper and lower, obviously from Praestolor systems, and those marry up perfectly with a mid-length gas system that we have, which basically causes the gun to shoot more level, more reliable extraction, dampening of recoil, and then just altogether faster. We've coupled this with an Aimpoint T1 micro room mount. Super simple, super robust. If you know anything about our logic with optic behind irons, you'll know why we have the gun set up in this manner. We've got a more vertical inclined Bravo Company pistol grip that puts less fatigue on the shooter's wrist, especially when working in a more square shooting position. Battle Arms Development has provided the 45-degree throw selector. There's a multitude of different levers. I've got simply the button or the stud on the starboard side of the gun, but again, you can specify what setup you want. We have an ambidextrous charging handle that exists. That right there is from Bravo Company as well. There are some ambidextrous components that we like and others that we don't. We've seen some receivers lately that have ambidextrous bolt catches, they have ambidextrous magazine releases, and we actually see them being a detriment to the shooter where they're inadvertently hitting buttons under stress that they don't want to hit. So this is one of the controls that's an exception right there. Keeps our rifle manipulation a lot more consistent with our handgun manipulation. Finally, moving towards the very, very back of the gun, we've got a simple Magpul CTR stock. Since this stock came on the market, there have been a lot of additional stocks that have come out, but we keep going back to this one because we find it simple, it's robust, it actually does lock into position to stabilize and take the wobble out of it. We see lots of folks with storage compartments and that sort of stuff, grooves on them that get snagged in guys' beards. There's a few stocks right now that are very skeletonized, but we've even seen those guys snag up on folks' equipment. So there it is, the Progressive Defensive Carbine from PFC and Praestolor Arms. We've got their information up in the comments below. One of the beautiful things about this bad boy, you buy it, we'll teach you guys how to shoot it. Stay safe.